I don't know what you have seen it. He has some question.
Ah oui.
Yo quisiera preguntarle a Béla Tarr. Béla Tarr este año ha recogido un premio en Cannes, que un premio concretamente, parece que de France Culture, que hace referencia al director revelación de este año en Europa, lo cual no deja de ser curioso cuando hace tiempo que no hace películas y cuando hace mucho tiempo, además, que las películas pues están ahí y no se han visto. Entonces, eso, por un lado, se produce una sensación extraña, pero hoy, viendo la película hoy, y la había visto anteriormente, pero viéndola hoy, veo que la película no envejece. De alguna forma, no es una película que tenga 20 años. Entonces, mi pregunta va dirigida a él y también, ¿a qué siente al ver hoy una película que responde a un esquema suyo personal de hace 20 años? Yo también le preguntaría al público, porque al público más joven, que hay mucho público joven.
It's dead. I'm sorry, it's dead. It's dead. Please don't forget.
No.
Until now it's worked.
¿Ya funciona? ¿Ya no funciona?
No, just change it.
Entero. La tecnología apunta.
Yes.
¿Empiezo desde el
Fine,
principio
thank you.
o empiezo desde el principio?
No, no.
No hace falta. Vale.
I stopped
Entonces,
when you talked about around a 20 years old movie.
que por un lado está la sensación, ¿qué sensación tiene él después de ver una película 20 años después que ha hecho él? Y ver también algo que creo que es importante, y yo también lo preguntaría a los espectadores que hay aquí, que son gente muy joven en su mayoría, ¿no? ¿Qué sienten ellos al ver una película de estas características que hace ya 20 años? ¿Qué pueden conectar, cómo pueden conectar ellos con esa película? De todas formas, mi opinión personal es que la película gana con el tiempo. Yo la había visto hace 8 o 9 años y hoy pienso que la película es más atemporal que antes, aunque siempre la película ha sido muy atemporal. Entonces, pues, me gustaría saber su impresión de cómo se vive el que al fin, al cabo de 20 años, la gente empiece a ver una obra que es muy importante.
What do you think? What can I say? It's, first of all, I think we have to speak about the main issue. The main issue is always, for me, what is the movie? Why we are doing movies? Why we are spend a lot of time for this activity? Because if you watch some movies which is connecting only the daily life or only the daily conflicts, like a newspaper, you know, you have some news and you cannot read yesterday's newspaper, never. That's the question, what is the function of the movie? I'm terribly curious what do you think about, because I have what we are doing is we just wanted to discovering something, you know. The filmmaking is a part of the process. We try to know what is happening around us. We try to understand something about the world. We try to understand the human conditions. We try to understand the conditions of the nature and the conditions of the society and the logic of the society. This is a really long process. And that's why I cannot answer for your question, because what, you know, it's a part of the life. The question is, how do you think? What is your way of thinking? And the other question is the filming, but it could be secondary. The main question is a moral question. Where are you? What do you want? And afterwards is coming what is your job or what is your sensibility, how do you feel, the whole stuff.
Más preguntas. Si no, ya que estoy en la mesa, hago una yo.
Hola, buenas noches. Bueno, desconozco la obra tuya y era saber un poco cómo ha evolucionado desde tus primeros films a tu proceso de creación ahora, qué cambios puede haber habido o si sigues en un mismo registro de historia o ha habido una evolución.
First of all, when I made my first movie, I was 22. That was a time when I saw, and I have to say we, because I wasn't alone, of course, because you cannot do a movie alone. You need a lot of friends and you need a lot of partners to do it. We have seen it, we saw it, a lot of shitty stuffs, some fake stories, fake actors, fake sets, and really bad dramaturgy, and the bad lighting, and everything. It was different than the reality what we have seen it on our life. And that was a time when we decided, okay, we will do it a movie, a very low budget movie, just in 5 shooting days, handheld 60mm black and white movie with non-professional actors, real people, with improvised dialogues, bad cuts, and everything. You know, we didn't want to knocking on the door. We want to beat the door and we want to say, okay, you have to see this is the reality, this is the real world, this is how we are living, and you have to see this is a shit society, because that time we believed our problem is only social problems. And I was convinced, don't forget I was 22, I was convinced if we change the society, everything will be okay. And now we are getting older, and we had to see, okay, we couldn't change the society with the movie. It wasn't enough. The people didn't want to change the society. And finally, we started to think about the movie, and we started to think about how is going the real life, because we saw it is not only social problems. And when we shot this movie, we recognized our problems is maybe more ontological. It's not only the question of the society, something which is much more deep, something which is, you know, Sartre said once, the hell is inside. Maybe something which is more, you know, maybe the society, maybe the history, maybe the other conditions destroyed us more deeply what we believed. And that was the process. From the social problems, we went to the ontological problems, and now we understand it's not only ontological problems, it's more, maybe cosmical. The problems are cosmical, and that's why we did it the Satan Tango, and why we did it the Werkmeister harmonies, when we started to speak about something about the eternity. That's the process, but it took 27 years.
Yo quisiera aprovechar, ya que estamos aquí, primero para recordar que, digamos que al lado de Béla Tarr trabaja, al lado, su compañera y además coautora y editora de sus films, Agnès Ranitsky, que se encuentra con nosotros, y por tanto quiero en primer lugar notificar su presencia y darle las gracias y su reconocimiento en relación a las películas de Béla Tarr. Una vez dicho esto, me gustaría poner como cuestión algo que ya hemos hablado, pero que me parece que se va a ser muy visible cuando se vea la película esta noche. Digamos que habría en Béla Tarr, en las últimas obras, dos tipos de mise en scène. Una que es clara en Satan Tango y en las armonías, en que Béla Tarr establece una distancia entre la cámara y los personajes, y trabaja sistemáticamente la composición, el paisaje, el entorno. Y otra puesta en escena aparentemente muy distinta, que se nota muy claramente en esta película, donde además de trabajar el espacio, la cámara prácticamente se pega a los personajes. Y esa idea de pegarse, a mí me parece bastante visible a ellos, que nos obliga en cierto sentido a vivir los problemas, digamos, de los personajes, porque la cámara está revoloteando sistemáticamente en torno de ellos. Creo que le da una dimensión tal vez más claustrofóbica que otros films, pero probablemente también mucho más poderosa. Esta película me parece una película soberbia, tal vez por su estructura confesional. Toda la película está basada en confesiones, y entonces no sé si esta es la razón por la cual la manera de filmar es una manera circundando siempre a los personajes.
May I say something? The whole fucking filming is really nothing. One thing is sure, we have to understand the people, we have to understand the real life, we have to find the logic of their life, and we have to have it a lot of emotions and energy, and we have to destroy the old-fashioned film language, because I'm fed up, I'm bored, I cannot watch it, and I'm always, you know, what I need always. I really don't want to hear any teaching. I need the action, you know. It's really funny stuff when we are talking about the movie. Let's do it. And we have to discovering the new things. We need more energy. We don't want to sleep, get up. And really, no, if we are talking about the theories, why we are turning around the camera, you know, it's, the movie is always just picture-written human voices, eyes of the actors, and some real situations. You have to understand the real situations, how the people connecting, what, you know, for example, in this movie, that was the main issue. We have to understand what they want. We wanted to make a movie about the story which is happening up the table. And we wanted to show you what is happening under the table. We want to show you how is the real interest, how they want to money, how they want to sex, how they want to kill each other just to get them. That was the main the most important things for us. When we really wanted to, we were really fed up, and we were really, we hated the whole stuff. And we wanted to show you, this is the shit what we have, how we are. And that's what we really hated. That's why we wanted to show you. And we were full of energy. And we are still, we have some energy because we really want to show you what's up, because we still, since I don't know how many years, until now, we do not understand the world. We're just trying something, really.
Hola, buenas noches. Yo, después de ver la película, me gustaría preguntarle cuál es su proceso con los actores, cuál es su trabajo con los actores, cómo consigue arrancarles esas emociones que se ven en la película y cómo ponen en circulación esos deseos, esas historias que se transmiten también a través de su película.
First of all, I don't know what is the actor, really, because from the beginning until now, we are working real persons and real personalities. And sometimes when we start the movie, the inspiration is a person. For example, what you will see tonight, the Werkmeister Harmonies, the reason why we did the movie, it was a young German guy. We met with him in Berlin, and afterwards we decided we will do it a movie with him, and we did it the Werkmeister Harmonies. He was the reason. But I just wanted to tell you, really, the actors or the characters are very terribly important. But we never think about the quality of the acting. We choose them because we like them, and if we have a character in the story and they have their own personalities, if they are similar, in this case, we don't do anything. We can tell them very simple, or I say them, please don't play, just be. Don't play, just being. And that's enough, because if you have a really good situation, when everybody has a real, has a possibility to show himself or herself, and they can show themselves, and they can show their real emotions and real interest, and they are doing like they are doing in the normal life. In this case, you have no reason to talk too much, to force them to play something, because in this, and we are just watching always their eyes. If we say they are in the situation, they are listening for each other, in this case it's working. No, it's not necessary to directing. If you are directing, in this case you do some fake things, that's sure. If you have a right casting, if they trust you, because it's important, because they have to know you never betrayed them. You never humiliated them. You want to show them like a real human being, and you respect them. In this case, you have a chance to get some real secret moments and some secret emotions. And in this case, you can cross a demarcation line, and you can show something which is more what you can see normally on the screen.
Bien, ¿alguna pregunta más? Sí.
Sí, hola. Recientemente ha dicho que su voluntad tenía más que ver con un cambio en la sociedad que con cierto placer estético que puede provocar su película. Entonces yo no entiendo por qué, si lo que se busca es ese cambio, utiliza unos métodos, digamos, tan minoritarios con cierta sensibilidad tan estética como la que tiene esta película.
This was a really decadent movie. I told you at the beginning, before the screening, that was really our deepest point, when we were really down. That was a point when we felt, okay, we were very close to give up something. That was why we started to listening more for the, some aesthetic stuff, but it's really not true, because you have to see the process. Unfortunately, you haven't seen our first and second and third movie, because you could see the process is very clear. In the first movie, it was just real people. It looks like a pseudo document, but it was totally feature. And afterwards, we involved some more dramaturgical elements. And afterwards, we involved some more professional actors. And in this case, before this step, we did it Macbeth, a Shakespeare play for the TV, which it was just one long shot. It was 62 minutes long take. And of course, we discovered something during of this Macbeth, and we did it this, and afterwards we did it a short movie about, no, afterwards we did it The Damnation. It's everyone is different, but everyone is coming from, you know, we did it this, and we recognized something and we started to think about it, and it's coming, the next step is coming always from the previous movie. That's the really good thing, because you do something and when you finish you feel, okay, this is the way where in every movie you can see one frame or one shot which is, gives you some more energy or you're getting more curious about this moment, how you can developing and doing more. This is a big experience.
Sí.
Hola. Quería preguntarle sobre el tiempo que utiliza en las películas. En esta no tanto, pero en las otras tres, en las siguientes tres, usted maneja un tipo de tiempo y quiere reflejar lo que dice la realidad. ¿Ese es el tiempo que usted lee en la realidad?
Oh, this is a really difficult question, because what is the time? You know, if you see the timing in the movies, it's very simple: information cut, information cut, information cut. For me, most of the movies looks like comics, just telling the story. And if you started to think about what is the story, we are always just thinking about the story of the humans or some social step or between two people or love stories or something. But we never think about what is the big story, how is connected with the story of the nation, how is connected with the story of the animals, how is connected with the story of time. You know, because everything is happening in the time. And everybody has just one life. They cannot repeat, they cannot correct it. And the biggest question is the quality of this life. And the time, you know, that's why we started to thinking from the beginning. If you see the Family Nest, which it was made 77, there is, from the beginning, we are using long monologues. We just wanted to listening for the people. And we said, okay, what is the information? It's not the story. The real information is an eyes when you see how he's reacting or she, or how, when you started to understand something, some deep thing, which is really inside, when you can open a door and you can go to somebody. That's the real important things for us, or the most interesting thing. And how he or she became a part of this big story, you know. And everything is happening in the time. That's why we don't like to cut too much. We try to do long takes, and we try to make a special attention for the actors. Because normally in a movie, it's a very simple process. He says hello, we shot this, and cut. I will say hello, cut, and it's coming a wide picture. We see it together. You can see well, and afterwards he will say one sentence, I will answer, and this is the movie. Let's go and watch. Cut, close up, wide. Or maybe we are sitting close. That's the TV style, not the movie. And we have to have it, the time, we have to have it, the space, we have to have it, the landscape. And of course, when we are doing our long takes, what you will see in 1 hour later, you can see, it's okay, this is a long take, maybe 6 minutes long. But inside these long takes, you can see close-ups, wide pictures, everything. And the question is the rhythm of the scene, and the question is the rhythm of the movie. Of course, I'm not convinced about the rhythm of the feature films, what you can see on the movies. Maybe everybody has a different rhythm.
¿Alguna pregunta más?
Le quería preguntar sobre el equipo técnico, cómo es la evolución. Usted está hablando y dice nosotros todo el tiempo. Y quería saber cómo va eligiendo su, más que nada, dirección de fotografía, arte, música y montaje. Y si también eso tiene un proceso de evolución y una búsqueda personal que van marcando lo que sería la identidad de su cine.
You have to know, I'm working mostly with the same people, excepting the cameramen, the cinematographers. Unfortunately, until now, we didn't find our right cinematographer, but it's not really true, but mostly, you know, I'm working with Agnes, I'm working with Laszlo Krasnourkai, he's a writer, we are working since 20 years. I'm working together with our composer, we are working since 22 years. It looks like a family. And you have to know, we never speak about the art. We never speak about the philosophy, we just always talk about our concrete problems. And that's why we are working in the easiest way. We know each other very well. It's not necessary to talk. Everybody knows what we want. For example, how we do the music. When I made this movie together with Mihai Vig, and he is the composer of this movie. And this time, this was the first time when we worked together, and I didn't trust him, and I went to the studio. And I was there when he recorded the music. And that was a stupid thing, because I couldn't do anything. It wasn't necessary. He did it himself. And finally I left, and I understand it's absolutely not necessary to be there. And now you know what is happening. He goes alone, do it before the shooting, and he comes back. We never go there. He does what he wants, and he's coming back, and he shows us the music. And we didn't shot any frame, and the music is ready. Because it's also a part of the movie. One of the main characters, like a landscape and like the actors. And that's how we are working. It's everything you have to put together. And when everything is together, it's ready, the movie. And after we had to shut. And how you want to know something about the technical way? Of course, the beginning we used some very easy, for example, a handheld camera and something, and now we have a terrible big staff, heavy 35mm camera, and trucks, and cranes, and dollies, and now we are using everything, because now we are much more, how do you say, we are much more careful about the mistakes. The beginning I was convinced, let's go and do it more and more mistakes. Now I hate the mistakes.
Sí.
Hola. ¿Cuáles serían los errores en esta película?
Amen.
Which do you think are the mistakes in this movie?
I didn't get translation. No. The question is, what is the mistake? You know, if you do it, because like my first movie, we did it a lot of shit cut directly. It was we were convinced it's much better if we do bad cut, bad everything, what you never use in a normal feature film. You know, we wanted to destroy the film language. That's why we decide, okay, we will do it. We want to do mistakes. Because if we do it in this way, we can go closer to the reality. That was the reason. But now we are really precise and really maniac about the style.
Sí, yo quería preguntar cómo trabaja con László Krasznahorkai, que es el novelista en cuya obra se basa Armonías de Werkmeister y Sátán Tango. ¿De qué manera trabajan juntos?
Of course we work well, because we are working 20 years, since 20 years. In every case it's different. For example, the Satan Tango, it was his first novel, and we wanted to film it was 85, and we couldn't do because it was a political reason. And afterwards we could do this movie only in 92, but before we did it, The Damnation. The Damnation, it was based my short story, and he helped and collaborated, and we did it, the screenplay together. The Satan Tango, it was his novel, and we have it, the novel. We had no real screenplay, we just shooted the whole movie from the book. It was really, we followed the logic of the book, we followed the logic of the novel, we followed the chapters, and we really wanted to filming the book. That was a really great experience for us to do it and filming from a book, not from the screenplay. And afterwards we did it a short movie together with, it's called City Life, when we used it 2 short stories from him, by him, and it was, we changed everything. We combined 2 short stories. And the fourth kind of the work, it was the Werkmeister Harmonies. He had a novel. The novel had 3 big chapters, and we just picked up the middle, and we did it a movie about just the middle. It's, the title, it was this big chapters, it was called Werkmeister Harmonies. That's the reason why the movie has a different title than the novel. And the 5th kind of the work, it's what we are doing now. We have it now, Georges Simenon's story, and we changed everything together. And now we have a screenplay, which is, of course, totally different than the Georges Simenon story. But if you, when you will see the atmosphere of the Simenon. It will be right. Of course, something it will be a little bit more deeper than Simenon believed. That's how we are working. In every case, it's different. No recipe. Just how it's coming.
El libro a que se refieren Adam, el traductor, y Béla, de Laszlo Krosznahorkai, se llama Melancolía de la Resistencia. Está traducido en España y publicado en Acantilado. No es que yo no soy de la editorial, obviamente, no hago promoción, pero en todo caso sí me parece que dentro de una... Ya, sí.
If you have time, please read. Really good.
Es un buen libro. Es un buen libro. Es un buen libro y además forma parte de una serie de libros y de autores de la literatura húngara contemporánea que se han publicado en España, que curiosamente se conoce más la literatura que el cine, y digamos que ahora con Béla a lo mejor la balanza se equilibra o se va hacia el cine en lugar de la literatura, pero hasta ahora al menos recordaréis Irme Kertész, Sander Maray, Adam Bodor, etc. Entonces, en ese caso concreto, Melancolía de la Resistencia es el único libro de Laszlo publicado aquí en España, creo yo, y es el que se basa parcialmente en la película que veremos a continuación dentro de un rato. Si no hay ninguna pregunta más, vamos a respirar un poco y volver a la segunda parte de la proyección, que es una película de emociones y, le guste o no le guste a nuestro querido Béla, un auténtico goce estético y un auténtico trabajo de puesta en escena, le guste o no le guste.
I hope so. One thing is sure, it's just a movie about a young guy who is listening always for the cosmos, and an old man who tries to find the real, clean voices, and an old dead whale who is coming from the far ocean. And everyone has a really strong connection for the eternity. That's the main issue. Not for
eso es verdad, todo eso que ha dicho es verdad, y además un auténtico placer estético. Hasta dentro de